Alrighty, what is up, everybody? Jay Baker Vlogs here, and welcome to the next episode of the Vlog Series 2. Well, guys, it is about 6 minutes to midnight on this Wednesday evening. Hope everybody had a great day so far. Hope y'all had fun with your family and friends. And so far, we are going to get down to telling y'all a story of some sort. But anyway, I was up in my room making up the bed because I just got done washing my sheets through the washer and put them in the dryer. And I thought to myself that me and my ex-friend and Star Wars. And you're like, what? Okay, so explain to us what you and your best friend and Star Wars has to do with this video. And so far, I'm going to tell you guys a story. And so far, we'll go ahead and get right into it. So, I felt like I was like Obi-Wan Kenobi. And my ex-friend Benny would be like Anakin Skywalker, Darth Vader. And so far, if you guys haven't seen the limited series of up to 6 episodes of Obi-Wan Kenobi, it pretty much takes after about 10 years after Revenge of the Sith and after the fall of the Jedi, the Republic, the Clone Wars, everything. And Anakin's complete turn to the dark side and his transformation from Anakin to Darth Vader. Well, so far, I looked at myself as being like Obi-Wan. And my ex-friend Benny was like Anakin, who apparently lost in a lightsaber fight with both of his legs chopped off and plus one of his arms as well. And so far, his eyes glue red. It looked like this corruption has taken him completely by surprise. And, well, so far, as we look at it, this corruption was pretty much him watching the fake news, the media, and all this garbage that he watched even on YouTube and KSAT 12 and all these other media sites, you know. And so far, I tried hard to convince him of all the negative influences that they are, and so far, they are the constant liability, and they just don't know it as of this point forward. But we're not going to get into that type of discussion. We can't explain anything political because we're not allowed to say anything about it. But anyway, my ex-friend Benny was tempted all the time, especially when you look at him being a part of the gang. The gangs were evil because they knew what power was. They held on to that power. That power was their corruption. And it was greed and lust of the eyes and all the evil things that these people have done. Drive-by shootings, terrorizing neighborhoods, this and that. It was all of it. And literally when Benny got shot, well, you basically know the whole story of what would happen next because he was in that hospital bed and his dad came by and saw him. And he was furious and infuriated with him, and I don't know how infuriated he was, but he was infuriated to the bone. And his dad was not happy with him, and 9.5 years that I was his best friend, and I got infuriated with him because he basically lied to me all this time. 9.5 years. He said, "Oh, I'll pay you back all your money, this and that." And, you know, and, well, we're not going to get into it. You guys that already know what happened, I already told y'all everything that y'all needed to know about what had happened. And the corruption just overtook him like out of nowhere. He was angry. He literally lost it. And I tried 9.5 years to convince him I've always told him the truth. I mean, why would I lie to him? I had no reason to lie to him. And I always was truthful and honest as I could be all the time. And so far, that night we went to HEB, I knew that he was corrupt. It was too late for me to try to do anything to save him. I couldn't save him, and I failed. 9.5 years, I have failed completely trying to convince him to do the right thing, and he wouldn't do it. And it corrupted him, and it turned him against me. This corruption, he was so mad that these things were literally just getting inside his head, and it was possessing him like a demonic influence. It was just in him. I mean, it was corrupting him as he was watching the news and the media and all this stuff that he was watching, this garbage. And I had to put my foot down and say, I don't want no part of this. This stuff is nasty. And, I told him that one night. I said, dude, if I move in, I don't want this in our house. I will not tolerate it. And if I have to tell you, I'm not going to tell you. I'm telling you. Or I'm not asking you. I'm going to tell you. I do not want this in our house. I don't want this negativity. This is a negative influence. If you have a negative influence in your house, it won't leave. It will always stay in. It's a big bad infestation when you have this much anger and rage and hatred in your life. And the only way to get rid of that is to turn against it and to literally say, I don't want no part of this. I want to do good. I want people to see me as a good person and to influence others to be positive as they see me being positive. You got to fight fire with fire these days. And, if they're corrupt and they're all the way in there where they say, no, I don't want your help, then they're lost. You can't do anything about it. Except you got to pray over them that they will fight it and they will say to themselves, I'm going to make a change in my life. I mean, this evil that's going on right now, and you look at it, there is a lot of evil going on. I mean, you see it everywhere. You see it on the news. You see it. I mean, I don't have to explain it. I can't explain it because I'm not allowed to. And so far, this corruption has taken over my ex. My ex-friend, he fell right into it. And I had to put my foot down and say enough was enough. This constantly taking advantage of me and for my money. I mean, 9.5 years of doing that, and I had to put my foot down and say, stop. That's enough. you know, and asking him to return that in good faith. And he's like, oh, I'll return it, and this and that. And he doesn't want to. And my dad said, well, there's something fishy going on with your friend. I don't know what, but I just don't trust him. I don't trust the fact that he's borrowing this money, but is he going to return this money? He asked me that question a lot of times, and I said, well, I sure hope so. I mean, he said he kept his word and this and that. And then I found out, well, he's basically lying to me and knowing that he probably don't want to return it. He thinks that it's a free ride. Life is not a free ride when you think about it. If you borrow from somebody, you have to return. I mean, 9.5 years that I helped him, and I did good. I did good for this guy. I take credit for everything that I've done. I mean, I had busted my rear end to make sure that his bills were paid. Well, you get the whole idea. I shouldn't have had to do it. I did it, but I regretted doing that for him. And well, he's probably an angry, pissed off old man because I made these videos talking sorely about him and knowing that the things are true and the corruption is all over him. And I'm trying to make a voice of reason here, and hopefully he'll watch these videos and understand the pain and depression. And I thought about it day and night. I couldn't sleep at night because I thought about it so much. And I felt like Obi-Wan, having these nightmares about my friend who literally, you know, when you look at Obi-Wan, Obi-Wan thought about Anakin. As Obi-Wan slept in the cave that night, he started having these dangerous nightmares of Anakin, their fight on Mustafar, and and the chop off of Anakin's legs and his one arm, and his hatred. His eyes glue a red orange, and it would give you the heebie-jeebies just thinking about it. And the corruption was it took over Anakin and it made him evil. And this evil can corrupt anybody. And Obi-Wan woke up just panting like he saw what had happened 10 years ago. Obi-Wan was shaken by the dreams that he had every night. And I felt like I was like Obi-Wan. I felt all these dreams come. I saw Benny. We were good friends. We were good friends until this corruption took over him and he turned himself against me and probably all my friends like Duncan and Caleb and Forrest and all of them, even you guys as well. And this corruption just literally took him by force. And I woke up one night and I was panting. I was so scared. I felt like I was having a heart attack. Just thinking about what had happened between me and him. These nightmares that I was having. And well, there was that one night that I was sleeping and this dream came on me and I started to feel a lot of sweat, like right all over my body. I felt like I jumped in a lake or something. and I was warm, and my whole hair, from my head to my feet, was covered in sweat. And I woke up, and the sweat was like right in my eyes. And I had to go into the bathroom, and I had to rinse my eyes with cool water. And I had to strip my bed, and so far, I had to wash my sheets because of this night sweat, because I had these nightmares, and it's scary. It's kind of like what my uncle Ronnie experienced. He experienced something bad, and it involved his brother. His brother passed away in 2017, and he started to have these crazy, horrid dreams. And these are dreams that you don't want to even think about because they will scare the hell out of you, let me tell you. They will scare you to no tomorrow. And I don't think I would talk about it, but I ain't. Because these dreams, they'll just scare you. They'll scare you crapless, let me tell you. And my uncle, he had these dreams, and he had the taste of blood, and he woke up screaming to the top of his lungs. And Debbie, she literally had to hold him for him to calm down and stuff. And he was scared. He was super scared that these dreams were starting to haunt him. And these type of horrific dreams, you think about it. These are dreams that you don't want to even think about. I mean, I'm not going to talk about it because, it is scary, and it's negative, and it could be demonic in some spots. And I don't want to think about it. I mean, it just makes my hair stand on straight end, like right on my arms. I mean, you can look, the hair on my arms is starting to stand on in. And, but anyway, bad dreams can literally keep you up, I mean, all night if you have them like constantly. And you just feel like all this negative energy coming right on you. And it gets to the point where you have to grab your Bible and start praying. And you got to ask God to send the angels and these, you got to ask for protection of what is going on, even in your own home. I mean, you got to look at it, you know. But anyway, and I tell you one thing, 3 months that I've been out of job, I've literally had these dreams. Going back to the subject of me and my ex-friend Benny, I had these dreams. We had good times, we had bad times. I mean, I was over every single night. As soon as we got out from work, we would go out, watch Clifford the Big Red Dog. We'd go out, have a good time. And one night, Benny says, you feel like a brother to me. And I said, well, that's a very nice thing that you ever said. All the things that I've done for him. I did it because I cared about him, and I really did. And it's a shame that the bad habits are still there. I wish he would change. I pray that he changes. I pray every single day that he can still win. I know he's in a conflict right now. And I hope that he fights this corruption right off of him. I hope that he could try so hard to put his past behind him and stop thinking about, oh, he was in the gang. Oh, he got arrested. And all hell broke loose for him when he was a kid the same age as me. As he was about 27, 28, 29 years old. He was always getting into the habit of getting himself into serious trouble. And I say, Benny, you should have been a whole lot smarter than that. You should have said to yourself, you know what? Being in this gang is wrong. You know, what these gangs do, drive-by shootings. You know, you look at all the bad things that they do. It's not good things. You know, they terrorize people. They're interested in drugs, power, greed, and lust, and all of this bad stuff that they do. It's not good. Let me tell you. Because that's all, that's what Benny told me. He's like, that's all the gang was, is they wanted to hold the power of being in charge. You know? And that's where corruption first took him. This corruption was in his life for the least of 58, maybe 60 years of his life. And he could have just stepped away and said, no, I don't want this in my life. I don't want it in my house. I don't want it anywhere. He could have just said, enough was enough. And put his life being right. You know? 9.5 years I tried to convince him to do the right thing. You know, I was sorely trying to be a friend to him and to tell him what was the differences between right and wrong. And so far he didn't buy it. He was still corrupt. And to this point onward, I can't change the heart of his. If he's going to remain corrupt, he's going to remain in corruption. I can't change him. I tried 9.5 years to convince him. No, I can't do that. What he has to do is he has to think about what he's doing. And he's got to say, you know, Jonathan's always been right. And I've always been wrong. And I can hear him say that right now. He's probably watching these videos and saying to himself, I need to start changing and showing the positive side and trying to fight off this evil corruption and say that I'm going to do better. Because if there's an evil influence in you, people ain't going to hang around you. You know, they're not even going to be around. They're going to say, oh, this guy is evil. He's got a problem. He's mentally insane. But if they see the good in you, the positivity, everything that goes on, then they will hang around you. And you know what I'm saying. But let me say this. Benny has to change. Nobody can change him. I've tried. I've tried super hard to change him, and I completely failed. I failed 9.5 years. And I know a lot of you guys are saying, Jonathan, don't beat yourself up. It's not your fault. Well, I feel like it is. I feel like all of it was my fault. I mean, I done a lot of stupid things that I know that I shouldn't have done. And look where this resulted in. It resulted in our friendship to be heavenly strained. I mean, it was a heavy strain. And it got to the point where it collapsed on me and on him. And I think that every night that he thinks about a lot of things that I say on these videos, and so far I felt like Obi-Wan. I felt like I failed trying to save my friend. And having heard what Bail said to Obi-Wan on Tatooine, he said, you know, Obi-Wan, you couldn't save Anakin. It's the past. Be done with it. And it reminded of me. I couldn't save Benny because of this corruption. This corruption has won him over. I've I failed. I mean, I turned my back on him. And I said, you know what? I can't change him because he's in a conflict. I tried to turn him and I tried to win him over, and it didn't work. And I know a lot of you guys pretty much upset about the whole ordeal of what happened to him, and I know that y'all really wanted to see him on more videos. It's not happening. I mean, I got to put my foot down and say no, because it just ain't happening anymore. I mean, I can't give it on what y'all want. And plus his termination off of Baker J Studios and J Baker Flux, you know, I mean, I forgive him and all, but he's not coming back on. Because, you know, I don't really know what would happen if he did. He would probably get to that point of getting upset again. And I just can't take a chance of him lashing out at me or anybody, even on YouTube and stuff. Because I don't know what could happen. I just can't take chances. But anyway. But anyway, I just thought I would want to share that tonight. And yeah, it is Thursday morning. It is about 23 minutes after 12. And so far, just thought that you guys would want to hear that. But anyway, I mean, I know I have a little bit of dreams here and there, but lucky enough, it's not bad. Now, when you have a bad dream, yeah, you're going to wake up because you get afraid of what you see in your visions. But anyway, now all you have to do when you do have a bad dream is grab your Bible and start reading it, and also praying and studying, and make yourselves right. I mean, that's what you got to do. But anyway, well, guys, it's time for us to go to bed tonight. And so far, we will see y'all in the morning. Hope everybody has a good night. Be safe, make wise choices, keep life decisions, and stay positive in life. No. So, anyway, be safe, make wise choices, and always remember to keep it rocking. Have a good night, folks.